Okay, I have changed the angle from which I was recording because the sun was starting to pierce through from underneath and it was causing glare issues, but it doesn't matter because my skin is looking so excellent from all angles, y'all. All angles. I don't know how to, yeah, okay, let me sit like that. Ew, guys, yeah, okay, like, I just like my skin is looking so good. Anyway, whatever, right? So I want to explain to you guys what was in the body butter, what I put in them, and how it is that Christ counseled me to do such a thing as that. So if you look at hair products, you guys, if you look at the ingredients list on hair products, you will notice that they are literally almost the same carbon copy to body products, right? So that which they call your hair moisturizer tends to be more or less the same as your body moisturizer. They just package it differently, they market it differently, they call it different things. So some of y'all might think that, oh my goodness, why in the world would I want to put a hair product on my face? That's just gonna mess stuff up for me. But if you read the ingredients of a hair product versus a moisturizer for your body that has got similar products to the hair, like if they have got a shea butter infused body butter, and then you look at a shea butter infused hair butter or hair moisturizer, and you read the product labels, you will notice that they've literally got almost the same ingredients. They just call it a different thing. So whether it is a hair product or a face product, the Lord told me, baby girl, it's irrelevant. Use what you have. Use what it is that is a cheap, highly nourishing, highly moisturizing hair butter that, however, has got all these gorgeous ingredients that have wreaked a lot of excellent havoc in your bacterial activity, in your scalp itchiness. Like, guys, I used to suffer as serpents within I used to suffer with itchiness like no, yo guys, yes, the Lord has helped me with so many things. I used to scratch my head like a mad woman. There was a time when I thought I had like animals, like insect life, like fauna in my hair, the way that on my scalp, crawling, walking. And I remember being like, Father, I don't even have money to afford going to a dermatologist, a doctor or whatever to get rid of lice. Do I have lice? I remember like researching, literally just like opening a part in my head to see if there aren't crawling things, walking things, marching things on my scalp, the way I was so itchy. And no, there were no marching, crawling, scalpy things on my head. I just had a bad case of contact dermatitis and just some other issues with, remember I told you guys that I had in my previous parts that I had an issue with fungal overdrive, and that I used to get vaginal thrush quite a lot when I was a teenager. Yeah, I told you guys that in my earlier parts. Well, if at all you've got a yeast overdrive down below, you're gonna have one on your face, and you're also gonna have one on your scalp, and an itchy scalp is caused by an excess of fungi, right, and what have you. So an antifungal, an antimicrobial of some sort, a shampoo of that nature will help you out. But how you deal with all of these issues, I can't say it. More than like 9 times out of 10, the best way to deal with it is from the inside out. So the Lord balanced out my endocrine system. He gave me everything I need from the inside to balance out hormones, to reduce the amount of inflammation in my body, to reduce the amount of production of yeast, fungi, and whatnot. And the result has been no itch down below, fungal acne gone on my face and my scalp. I don't get itchiness as much as I used to. I expected that it was products that were causing my skin to itch, like what's wrong, no, I should change this, I should do that, and I ate for my scalp, and so now I don't itch. Like, I have just come from a season of doing my hair, you will recall. Usually after braiding, I'm here feeling like there are ants marching, crawling, like lice, whatever, on my hair. All right, I would be here because of how much moisture I added, how much product I added on my hair when I was doing my protective style. Nothing. I'm not itching except for the occasional and then you move on. I am not itching. I'm not about that business anymore. So the Lord told me, Karabo, it is not your product. It was not your products that were making you itch. It was the fact that your scalp was unhealthy from the inside out. You had an overdrive of fungal production. However, the products that you purchase have got ingredients in them that are both antifungal and they're also antimicrobial. They're bacterial. Antimicrobial in totality would be antifungal and antibacterial. You have got some pretty excellent products to counteract bacterial issues, both on the surface on your skin and internally. And since you have already taken many of these products through your drinks and whatnot internally to counteract overdrive, hyperinflation, blah blah blah, inflammation, blah 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 in your body, since it has happened internally, now you can trust that the products that I led you to purchase were not the issue with bringing out about your itchy situation. So therefore, if at all you did a patch test essentially on your scalp, which is the most sensitive portion of your whole body, honey, then you've done a patch test on your face, you've done a patch test on your body, you've done a patch test on your leg, on your toes. So therefore, you can trust that if at all the products that I gave you so incredibly nourished your hair that it grew to looking like what it is that you guys saw when my hair was down, when I still had my natural hair rock in it, if I could do that through those cheap products from Dis-Chem for your hair, can you imagine what all of those extracts in those products can do for your skin? Can you imagine what they can do? And they're already preserved. You don't have to do a home DIY that you're gonna have to throw out after every 2 weeks, and even then is how many masks over how long? What do? You know, home DIY products can be problematic because it just takes so much time out of you, and sometimes you don't really know what works or what doesn't work, and like I said, you gotta throw it out like immediately because they go rancid. These are already preserved, they are already in like basically store-bought shape, and so they have got protectants around them to make sure there's not excess fungi, excess mold, bacteria, whatever, that can age the product, and so therefore make it rancid and unsavory for usage. Use the store-bought products on your face and basically capitalize on the extracts that are in these products for your skin and see what I do with them. And I remember being like, I've never used a hair product on my face. I've never used a hair cream or a hair oil on my face. It's bad enough I was using facial produced oils on my face. What's a hair oil gonna do to my face? What's it gonna do? I then went online and googled what oils are inside tissue oil, and I found out it's like okay, there's snail extract, whatnot, right? And there's also like lavender, there's lime oil. Okay, look, go Google it, this particular tissue oil, yeah, Justine. And after googling the oils that are in the tissue oil, there were some oils there that are, you know, beneficial for skin, but God was like, that's not all of them that could do wonders for your skin. You have seen what coconut oil did for you in the past. You saw what castor oil and grapeseed oil did for causing your skin to pop in the past. You know, Garabo, that it is going to be a combination of oils that are high quality, that are going to do a benefit for your skin. In the past, you have seen the benefits of oil cleansing. However, it was sadly alongside, unfortunately for you, my daughter, it was alongside breaking out. It was alongside, not breaking out, sorry, what is this, like fungal acne. So what you need to do now, I don't like the way that the sun is coming on this side, is causing such an ugly, like hazy look, but we'll deal with that ultimately, right? The Lord was like, you can put just the tissue oil in your body butter, but it's got only a few oils. You have an oil that is jam-packed with so many more natural extracts than just that. So use it. Use the oil with the more extracts, because you know now that your skin is not allergic to it. You know that you were not struggling with itchiness because of your product. It was because of the lack of health inside your body. Now that that's eradicated, you also know that they are anti, like you know, what are the things that they use to preserve skin products, right? They are antibacterials, they are anti-microbials, they're antifungal. They tend to be heavy in antifungal properties and heavy in antibacterial properties, because they don't want their product going old on the shelves, so therefore losing their reputation at the store. Okay, and so therefore consumers' confidence going down, and Dis-Chem deciding to discontinue their product because it goes off on the shelves of Dis-Chem or whatever. While the same parabens that are apparently such a baddie, you know, for your skin, the same preservatives essentially that make sure that your products, your store-bought products, don't go off, are the same antibacterial, fighting off fungi and bacteria properties that keep the product, that will keep your skin not breaking out as well. So if an oil, like for instance, I purchased oils tend to be what do you call this? They in and of themselves, they've got these antifungal, they don't age easily. Like a natural virgin oil will last on your shelf for a whole year just as it is, right? But when they infuse oils into things like butters, when they mix it with water, etc., in, like I said, butters and sprays for your hair, that's when it can go off. And then they add preservatives, they add your parabens and your what have yous, and these preservatives in and of themselves have got properties that are conserving of or killing, neutralizing of product. Therefore, if you put oils on your face from a product that is perhaps like a hair growth oil, if you put that on your face, it has got preservatives in it that will likely more than just a store-bought coconut oil virgin on its own. It'll likely have more preserving qualities, more circumventing of bacterial growth properties on your face than just a olive oil on its own, or an avocado oil on its own, or a coconut oil on its own. You understand? Like, are you catching what I'm getting at? Are you like grasping the drift here? I'm trying to explain to you guys my thought process that God gave me. He was like, whatever it is that keeps these products on the shelf for 20 years without them going off is exactly what's going to make sure that there's a very limited amount of what do you call this, of bacterial breakout, like just thriving of bacteria on your face from a home DIY situation or whatever. It is going to circumvent fungi, and it's also going to circumvent, what do you call this, bacteria, because the product in and of itself is preserved with antibacterials and antifungals that it might have a shelf life of however many years or months. I was like, okay, well, when you put it like that it kind of makes sense. I'm scared, however, because we got that sensitive skin, but whatever you say, Lord, I shall experiment as you have counseled. I'm not happy with the way that light is coming in right now, but we'll deal with that in the next part. We'll adjust the situation in the next part. Okay, yeah, so this is what it is that the Lord gave me counsel concerning. So I was like, okay, that is a reasonable way to think about it. So what are you saying to me, God? Then he was like, use your tissue oil, it's got all these beautiful oils in it indeed, but also use your hair growth oil and see what happens. But also add another step into your skincare that is going to doubly make sure that there is no fungi overload or like fungal growth that's going to cause fungal acne on your skin, and so therefore wreak havoc in your life. And so what then did God basically give me counsel to do? He was like, I'm so disquieted by this angle because of like the sun, but I don't want to close the door because I appreciate daylight hours. Like they just capture better quality videos. Anyway, whatever, y'all know. So here it is that I was having this discussion, in my mind, and God is giving me all of these ideas, and I'm like, okay, I guess a little bit of a one-day patch test experiment trial can't hurt. And I said that, of course, with trepidation, because it can hurt. Because if I got one big fat chunky pimple over here, it's gonna fade over the week, and that dark spot is gonna stick for 2-3 months. And we're not trying to do that, okay? I've come a long way. I'm not trying to do that. And I was like, God, I hope you understand that I can't go back. I can't go back to dealing with that one spot, and I don't want to be forced to go and buy benzoyl peroxide because now I'm broke out again in a way that makes me scared. And so I'm gonna go back to Ishmael. I'm gonna go back to Hagar vibes. Please, please. If you want to understand what I'm talking about when I say Ishmael or Hagar, you're gonna have to check out my previous parts again. So that's what it is that we're dealing with here. So I went on right ahead and experimented. The Lord was like, make a body butter, right, Karabo? A body butter, and that body butter, you're gonna also use it as a moisturizer for your face, very sparingly, however, when it comes to your face. Now, all the counsel that I was listening to on the tube machine from these ladies using these pep body butters with Mongolia oil, others had peppermint oil, blah blah, all these different kinds of oils that they swore by, right? I remember taking counsel from 2 ladies that said this, and I was like, I'm gonna try that, right? The one girl was like, how it is that this has worked best for me is that I apply my tissue oil, right? For her it was a tissue oil. I hate this layer over here. If I remove the pillow, it makes a massive difference. As long as my legs aren't showing, then we're good. Yeah, the tissue oil this chick was using a tissue oil only. It was not a body butter with her. She was like, she applies it on her skin when it's still damp. Like, as soon as she's out of the shower in the bathroom where it's still steamy, that's where she applies her moisturizer. Not her moisturizer, her tissue oil, so that it really just kind of like gets into the skin when it's still damp and the pores are still kind of open thanks to the shower water, the steam, and to get absorbed like all nice and well. I was like, okay, I'll take that advice. I'll take the advice to basically moisturize in the bathroom. I usually moisturize back here. I shower, wear a robe, come outside into this joint, and that's where I moisturize. And before then, even I put my serums first, which I leave in the house, which are in room temperature, because I can't afford for my serums to go off, especially the vitamin C, which is very unstable. So therefore I keep them at temperatures that are, you know, healthy for such products as those. So I apply them in the house while my whole body gets bone dry. And so by the time I put any moisture on my body, it's kind of like Kalahari, it's deserty. So I made a decision this time around to keep the body butter that I made in the bathroom, so that I can, but I brought this side for the sake of this illustration, all right, so that I could get my lighting conditions are starting to get all messed up now, right? So that I could get my situation on fleek. Like with moisturizing, I was like, I'm gonna take that advice. I'm gonna take this woman's advice and see what happens with, you know, my situation. I'm not only gonna make the body butter, but I'm also going to apply it fresh out of the bathtub. And it's not gonna be just the tissue oil that I put on my body, but just moisturizing my whole body, so that I can lessen the amount of work, the onerous step-by-step process of making sure that, you know, hey, there are these women, they put coffee scrubs on their legs. I was like, I don't have time for that. I'm busy, I'm suffering, I'm struggling. I need something that is quick and to the point. So if I could just kill two birds with one stone, please, let's do it. If I can put something on my body that potentially might fade my stretch marks but also moisturize all of my body, then we're doing it. And you guys know how expensive tissue oil is, right? So to moisturize yourself with it all over your body, it's gonna like break some bank for you. So if you put it in a body butter, it's like killing two birds with one stone, and cheaply too. You spread it out over a long amount of time. And you guys know me and my frugality and spreading things out over a long amount of time because of my broke nature, my broke state. That's what I made a decision to do. And guys, the results. Let me explain to you the mixture that I put in my body butter in the next part, while we try to find a better angle to sit and explain the rest of this message. Next part.